Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Fresh Jazzy Sounds with the subtitle Hot Summer Nights, because I'm hoping everybody is enjoying summertime. We have since a very long time a very hot summer. That means that we are around 30 degrees or 90 Fahrenheit. We have no rain. It's a miracle. I think we have, like now is the 42nd day that we don't have any rain, and that's, I think, a record. At least I can't remember the last time this happened. And so it really gives that summer feeling of hot nights, and that means, of course, Brazilian music. So in this episode I will mix it up a little bit, but there will be a lot of Brazilian music and this really laid back, just listening evenings, listening to music and enjoying it. So the first one is a compilation. It's by Music from Memory, a Dutch label, and they have collected Brazilian music from 78 to 92. Music from Memory is known for their electronic music, and what they have done on this record is quite special. They have taken Brazilian music from 78 to 92, which is the transition from a military dictatorship to a democracy, and that brings, of course, a lot of changes to the people and to the artists, what they're doing, their creativity. Also, that's what I'm reading, because on the inside there's a big story on what it meant for those people. Most of the artists are unknown to me. I have no clue, but you can feel they're experimenting. So the music is jazz fusion, ambient, minimalistic, a little bit of experimental, world music. It all mixes and glides together, and if you like Brazilian music and you want to experiment a little bit and taste what kind of music was created in this period, which was unknown to me, this is an excellent compilation to start with. Next album is also a compilation. I think that's a little bit of coincidence, because I'm not that much into compilations. But this is a compilation of 3 albums from Germany, private presses, and the albums are called Auf der Suche, Zeitlos und Neue Horizons. Or maybe that's an English title, New Horizons. I'm not really sure. They play mostly acoustic music. So there are 3 guys, Barthel, Bohm and Bauer. And they have this, I must say, this is also summer music. It is this acoustic guitar, with some songs have electric guitar, minimum singing, it's almost instrumental. It has this driving beat. So I don't really know how to classify it. Is it rock? Is it... I think it's rock, must say, but it deviates a little bit. And I must say it's very nice that they compiled it from the 3 albums, because I think they will be very hard to find, although I did not try it. Perfect music for in the car, I guess, also. But if it's hot and you have a beer in your hand, fits very well. And the songs are very nice, they're very long, so on this side, for example, the first song is 7 minutes, the second is 5, and the last one was 9 minutes. And it really has that vibe of just endless. They just can repeat it, and very nice. But if you're drinking beer, you have to move a little bit, so we have to move up the tempo a little bit, so we can dance a little bit, because you cannot sit the whole time. And no better way to do it than with Tim Maia, Disco Club. And the hype sticker says also Golden Age, where disco meets raw funk and soul of Tim Maia. And that's exactly what this is. Tim Maia made some beautiful albums. This is the time he tried to incorporate disco, and he did a golden stroke, because he skipped his normal theme, and it is produced by Olivetti and Johnson from, I think you know this album. This album is from 1978, this one's from 82, but it has that same vibe. Just the horns, the little reedles in between. And that voice. It's like discovering Barry White again. And normally, what I found a lot in the 70s, you had a quick song, slow song, quick song, slow song on the side. And on this album they changed a little bit, because the whole A side is quick or fast, and the B side is a little bit slower. But the voice has something magic of Tim. It's really so addictive. And this one is reissued by Mr. Bongo, and they do a complete reproduction of the original. And I must say, in some years it will be very hard to see if you have an original or a Mr. Bongo for sale, or if you buy it. Yeah, I don't know if it is really allowed to copy a disc good. It almost looks like an illegal repress, but it's official. And last time I promised to show more Belgian jazz, especially because there is so much UK jazz, and that's promoted. But really, well, I cannot say that Belgian jazz kicks UK jazz, because the UK scene is brilliant, but a lot of people are missing this one. And this is one of my favorites. I have no clue how you pronounce the band name. I always call it Brazil, but that's not what it's saying. It's Brazil. The album is called Wahoo. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. And the fun thing is, a lot of the titles, or the first song is The Flight of the Kip, which is just Judds. So it's fun to see some Dutch titles on the back side. It's released on SD Bohm. That's the Bohm. And you can clearly hear it's not UK jazz. There's a difference. And it's fun to see that there is a difference. But that's also what makes it attractive. And this one is clearly a little bit of Brazilian influences. But they also go a little bit more in the where they use beats. But then the beats are always like, I call it placebo beats, because it has that old placebo vibe a little bit. This is a very nice album. The next one, I had to wait quite a bit, just because I'm stubborn. They first released the white album, and I didn't want the white album, I wanted to have the black one. So that meant I had to wait a little bit, 2 months I believe. yes, I think everybody now recognizes when this kind of song or this kind of instrument or the way it is played, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Like the other ones, still have a problem pronouncing the name. Khruangbin. It's fun on the one of the songs. They also have an interview where somebody asks, "How do you pronounce your band name?" And although this song is quite similar to the first album, their debut, the rest of the album sounds different. So the first album had a little bit of funkiness to it. The second album, it took me a little time to get used to it, but as the temperature rose or raised, that really also got me more into the album, and I started to like it more and more, because it has to be hot to play this kind of music. They released it in, what was it, in the spring, and that was, I think, not the right time. They should have released it close to summer or something, then it's much more, then you can really feel the vibe, the tempo. It fits a hot summer night. Next album is an Italian album by S-Tone Incorporated. S-Tone stands for Stefano Tirono. He has made some very nice albums. This together he does with friends, a lot of friends actually. And this one just sounds like a Brazilian album. And I don't know how he did it, but it really feels like a Brazilian album. This song is, he has written all the songs or co-written them. He arranged it, he produced it, and he mixed the album. Because I think his first album he also played all the instruments, but I'm not really sure. But this one really surprised me. Yeah, summer all over. It's released on Schema Records. I think well known to people who collect Italian music. It's released in 2017. And the first time I sampled this album, I thought, oh, first nice, second one is nice, that will be it. But you can sample every song, because this was the second song on the B-side, this is the third song. Just continues. Very, very nice album. And really, the sun is going down, you play something like this, it's very, very relaxing. And the last album is again a Brazilian album. It's called The Lost Tapes by Hermeto Pascoal. You pronounce it that way. From 1976. Wasn't that the summer that was also really hot? That's what I remember. I think 1976 was also a very hot summer. He plays the flute, sax and piano, electric piano. And that was what attracted me first, because I had never heard before of his name, of his band. Although he has that famous album where he's looking very angry, I had seen that, but I never got it, or I don't have it in the collection. Now I'm curious to find out. It's released by Far Out Records Recordings. It's done a very many beautiful Brazilian reissues. And you can hear it's always a little bit experimental. I would almost say it's a little bit crazy, but that's maybe a little bit strong. But this is again very beautiful, typical 70s music, or I would say typical 70s music, especially if you compare it to the first album I played, which started from 78. There you can really, that's the good thing about the first album. If you really, the first album I will really big recommendation. This was the last song. I hope you enjoyed it, the Hot Summer Night edition, and see you in the next video.